Welcome back. Working on some Compressonator stuff. Cyrus was telling me that he believed that the thread parameter was being ignored, which certainly would contribute to our performance issues. Ignore this file I'm looking at. This is something to do with the headers that exist in BCCH files for decoding. Just happened to be the thing that's open. But anyway, I've got everything set up. It took days to get this working, so I hope you guys are happy with how much effort I'm putting into this. What I'm saying here in the debugging command documents is I'm saying, hey, when we run this in the local Windows debugger, we want to compress rainbow.png into result.dds as BC6H using one thread on the GPU. And so we run that. And down here, I know it's small, but what we see, and I can make it a bit bigger, is we see encoding threads 1. You'll see threads repeatedly mentioned. That's because I'm just adding print statements throughout C++ code I don't understand. And I was trying to sort of see if maybe the threads were being reinterpolated somewhere to a higher number, and then not. Like we've actually got encoding threads down to 1. For some reason, increasing the font size after starting this up halts the progress from appearing here. It's using like V table something something inside C++ to like print the progress here over and over top of it. So because I've made it larger, it now won't update the progress. So we can just close that out. The point being it's using one thread. Oh, and then additionally over here in Task Manager, don't judge my process list, by the way. This computer is ancient and needs a lot of tidying up. You can see it's using 4 threads over here. Now, do bear in mind that this is a CLI, so there's probably one thread to handle like CLI events, like Control C for if I want to close it, stuff like that. And the threads just went down to 2. So it's clearly not using lots of threads. That's the point. That's the good point. If we now go back up to the debug properties and we instead go to debugging and we set this to num threads 0, push OK, and then we launch it in the debugger again, you'll see now that this says 8. So there's internal logic that basically says like, hey, this 8 is the number that we'll use. I believe it's related to the number of processes or something like that. The function is comp number of processes or something like that. That doesn't matter. It says it's using 8. So if we go ahead and we take a look at Compressonator CLI on our task manager again, you'll see it's using 11 threads here. And if we minus 8 from that, we get the sort of number that we were dealing with when we had one thread. So we can see here that it's actually honoring that thread statement, at least in this branch. So based on that, I think whatever Syra was experiencing is fixed. You'll also note that this is running at quality 0.05. I discovered that yesterday. We run BC6H at 0.6 quality, which is like 10x the quality that they recommend as a default for BC6H. And they also state that if you set quality to 1, it's like 10x slower than if it's like 0. So like it's by setting it to 0.6, we're probably just like shooting ourselves in the foot in that regard. But there we go. Once again, you can see that this is like stopped. It's when I mess with it, it just like stops working. Like if I just run it normally and I don't touch it, it's usually a lot happier if I don't touch it. There you go. And you can also see it's much faster because it's using those 8 threads. You see the count is ticking up. The important thing to note here, though, is that BC6H is an intensive operation, and so like that's what's going on. I won't let that finish, but if we go ahead and we start it back up as 1, you'll see that's a lot slower. So I think we're fixed up there in terms of number of threads. I just need to speak to Fruits and see if we want to maybe try limiting the number of threads inside Resonite and also lowering that quality down to 0.05. I'm going to make that as a separate like build of Resonite on my local machine shortly. And then I'm going to try baking some reflection probes in some of the files from this library. I love the fact that like I've managed to get this working where I can just like recompile Compressonator and actually see the effects of my work. That's really cool to see. So you can see here in initialized BC6H library, like here we go. That was I added that message, and I haven't been able to do that before. So really great to see, but also still confusing. I'll speak to you soon.